Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. This is I'm looking at I got some chats in here already trying to see. Good morning, fam. Good morning to you as well. Good morning. We got Captain Leonard with us this morning. Got a couple of people that's on the phone line. Let me pull Captain Leonard in here. There you go. There you go. He disappeared. He was like a magic man. He came in and disappeared. God almighty. Don't know what's going on. Got a few people on the phone line as well. I'm going to get to them. But right now, like I said, I'm not important. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheem. But the people that are important are here right now. And these are my brothers and sisters from another mother, but we got the same father. These is my family. Captain Leonard, tell everybody who you are, brother, and where you're hailing from.
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow family. You sound like you almost stuck in last night.
Man, look at here, boy. We had one last night, didn't we? Well, we had one last night. Yes, Lord. Look at. But tell everybody who you are, Captain Leonard, where you're hailing from, and where you originate. Where you originate from, brother?
Man, Leonard Jones, Vice President of New Orleans National Human Rights Organization.
Yes, sir. He said
And I'm
right.
from Saginaw, Michigan.
That brother said right. Put that S on
Right.
it. Put that, God almighty. Boy, you ready for it this morning? Yeah. You ready for it this morning? Mary, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How are you?
Hey,
Can you hear yourself?
I can. Am I too loud or something?
Oh, okay. No, no. Because I'm listening on the live stream too. That's what I'm asking.
Oh, okay. She said, "Can you hear yourself like I'm just as loud as I could be?" Okay. Maybe I'm a little too loud this morning.
He definitely loud.
I'm
But
always loud.
it's very clear.
But it's normal for me though. I'm a
Yeah.
loud fella.
Yeah.
Ibrahim, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Well, good morning, Sam. Good morning, and happy anniversary to my beloved ball and chain that keeps me in check. Beat me down. Yep.
You was doing so good till
Yeah,
you said ball and chain, brother. You was
it's our anniversary. I don't know what anniversary is, but it must be important because she want me to spend a lot of money today. So I don't
yes,
know.
yes,
At least
Lord.
one of them is up there in the team somewhere.
Look at here, and I promise you, if you are a wise man, you're gonna spend all the money she wants you to spend today. I promise you now. If you're a wise man, you're gonna spend it.
Then I won't be able to pay bills then. So I don't know. I got to figure it out one way. I got to go out here and rob a bank or something.
Hmm. Well, Ibrahim, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that it might not be a wise idea, brother. That might not be what you want to do. That might not be what you want to do. But hey, like I said, everybody got to deal with it the way they deal with it. Captain Leonard,
Yeah.
today
Yes,
is
sir.
way out Wednesday, brother. And
Wow. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
and
It
so
just started. Come on.
and if you are like okay, look at my baby girl, boy, she don't put that thing up there about that great book, boy. It's a wonderful book out there. If y'all want to get it, it's called what's it called? Me Untrust. That's what it's called. Written by R. Ajme. Whoever that fella is, he's an amazing writer. You can actually send an email to heavensaidyes@gmail.com if you're interested, and we'll make sure that we get a copy to you for a small fee, of course, for a small fee. But Captain Leonard, today is way out west. So I'm gonna start off this week. I say is people call in and whatever they want to talk about. We'll talk about it in its entirety. Leonard, you just called in. What you want to talk about today, brother?
That's right. This is that Wednesday where y'all cut up.
Yes, sir. Well, we cut up. Okay. Mm-hmm. We know how that work.
I think one of the things that came across my mind was the process that we talked about and
Mm-hmm.
waiting for a process to take place.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, the Attorney General, Mr. Garland, holds true to what he's known for,
Mm-hmm.
and that is pursuing justice
Yes.
and winning,
Mm-hmm.
because it is definitely necessary. And people should realize, when we were talking the other day, the Department of Justice does plan on criminally charging all individuals that
Mm-hmm.
have been a part of January 6th, including the President of the United States,
Wow.
ex-President of the Former
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
President of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And Merrick Garland is known for that type of honesty and integrity when it comes to doing those types of things. So let's hope that he is just as serious about this issue as has been about government corruption before.
Wow. Ibrahim, what message would that send, or do you think it's actually going to happen that a ex-sitting president would be incarcerated?
I think that, optimistically, I think that's going to send out a real message that this country is a country of law, and no one's above the law. Optimistically, but in my years of watching the government and watching things go, this is just like another salvo that really is not going to give people what we're looking for, what we're thinking. That's justice. You know, I don't know how it's going to come out or how far he's going to go with it, but we'll see after it comes out of the. We'll get a true bill. Once he files that, we're going to get a true bill. We're going to get more of the same. You know what I mean? What's going on with y'all, man?
Wow. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Good deal. Good deal. We have, who else we got here? Oh, we got Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, I ain't seen you come in, brother. Good morning. How you doing this morning? Then Mr. Hicks? 256. Who was that 256 area code? 256. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Man, that's me, man. This is Rico, man.
Okay, what kind of number is it, man? I ain't seen this number here before. You getting fancy on me, brother?
No, I don't call from you before.
Oh, okay. What do you think? And good morning, brother. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. You know, I'm thankful to see another beautiful day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What do you think? If they were to convict former President Trump and lock his behind up, what kind of first do you think that will happen? And secondly, what kind of message would that send to us, people here in the United States, and the rest of the world?
Well, first off, I hope it could happen because I heard that we on a risk presidents. It just don't happen. So now it sounds like it can. Hopefully they do. But I can't do nothing but wait and see. It's nice to know that they are attempting to. And if it happens like it should, I hope it ain't no slap on the wrist. Because I hope they set a precedence of what they meant, what they said about treason. I hope they set that precedence. Because whatever they do, it's going to be a precedence. And if we don't stop it or do something right now, the next Trump or the next Hitler going to feel emboldened to take it a step further, because that's what mankind does. Every generation tries their best to exceed the progress of the previous generation. So if he don't get spanked if he don't get spanked with a little bit of controlled violence, with a firm hand, then the next person is going to come around and they're going to do something a lot worse. This might have just been a dry run. So if they can prosecute him and incarcerate him, it would be awesome, because it would definitely show that we don't have more than 3 sets of rules. Because the world we live in, we have a general set of rules for to live by. But history has shown us that there's really 3 or 4 sets of rules.
Okay. Good deal. We got Curtis with us as well this morning. Curtis, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Morning, fellas. Morning. What's going on?
Well, we're talking about your ex-president on Trump, and with the committee that's going on right now, they're trying to move toward a direction to incarcerate him. Now, if he were to get incarcerated, ex-president go to jail, what kind of message would that send to us as United States citizens and the rest of the world about how serious we are?
It would send a true message, a real message. That's just what it is. Like at the end of the day, no man is above the law. I keep hearing, you know what? It's funny that you're asking that question this morning, because I keep hearing folks, different pundits saying, what kind of it would. I heard a guy saying, you got to think about what it would do to America if he is prosecuted. What would it do to America? What would it do?
Mm-hmm.
What harm would it detrimentally cause in America, other than it may cause a fight between his cult and those that don't believe? But what harm would it do to America for real?
Mm-hmm.
What is going to shut down our economy? What
do you think it has a potential? Do you think it has a potential, Curtis, to erupt a civil war?
Fooey alfalfa. Fooey. I ain't even trying to hear that, man. Them folk ain't trying. Listen, man. Them folk is not trying to come into these inner city ghettos and wild out like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, they not. They might hit, you know. Yeah, I don't even want to say it like they might hit the areas where you got affluent, you know.
The cotton came in, you know, the corn, you know, and where the cotton can came in, and that made cotton profitable, you know. So there's a lot of things just about taking the Texas and the feet of Spanish in California, because he was against slavery, because 1888, Guillermo freed the slaves from Texas all the way to California and all over Mexico. So that end of that war came along, about to start the Civil War, and that's when the troops separated. You know, I mean, let's study into the whole thing. Just look at it one point. That it all happened at one point. Then after they separated, it was the first fire down in South Carolina. You know, that was they preempted the Civil War, and then it got worse and worse and worse over. It built. You know, let's look at a Civil War. Civil War. When you attack a legislature of a government, you have committed treason, and now on top of that, you attack the legislature with the body of the government. Once you attack that, that's a coup. A coup successful. It was a successful coup, and then it ended very abruptly. You know what I mean? So that is a fact. Okay. What grew up now, and what I was trying to say first, asking me the question. about what would happen if the president was as equipped up for the time of need. If it's successful, if everybody can take it begins to, that would be one of the most powerful comments to make to the government of the world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That,
good deal. Good deal. Hey, Leonard, hold on. Leonard, read that right there. This is one of the comments from one of our listeners and watchers.
Even when George W. Bush, his handlers, and the Supreme Court stole the presidential election,
Mike got to read on the side because it's going to cut off.
It did irreparable damage to the republic. Trump's presidency and the insurrection added another blow to the foundation of this nation. By locking Trump and his handlers up, we may be able to restore some integrity to the government. But millions of voters are ready to elect a Trump-like figure to office who may succeed in turning this country into a dictatorship, which will lead to the widespread violence.
Do you agree with that?
No.
Yeah, I do.
Hold on, Ibrahim. Hold on, Ibrahim. Hold on, brother. We're gonna come back to you. Hold on now. Go ahead. Go ahead, Leonard. Finish your thought.
Pretty much all the way down to the end part, a Trump-like figure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who else is a Trump-like figure, or what's the necessity of comparing him to Trump?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he's talking about the ideology that Trump has, that has the same ideas and the same principles to try to do the things that Trump tried to do. Just going to extend what it is that Trump was trying to do. And I think he was trying to lean this country toward a dictatorship. I think he is. And so I think what that question is asking is, what it's saying is that even if we don't get Trump in there, he's going to have one of the people that's next in line to move in the direction that he wanted to take it in.
Oh, okay. I mean, people can have an opinion. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I think, leaving out one thing, the American people may not go for it again.
Mm-hmm.
We need to see what people are turning out to the polls doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they are slowly replacing a lot of these people who are on this non-collaborative type of ideology.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it's one thing for people to be accused of being ignorant, but
Mm-hmm.
these are people who are willfully using their vote to do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, because we haven't seen this type of thing before, this won't happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Different laws and things are being put in place to try to check some of the powers of the executive branch, as well as how elections are handled. Once again, going back to Obama's insistence on fighting for election security.
Mm-hmm. That's good. My concern is one time Trump ran for office and won, and the second time he got a lot of millions of votes from the people here in the United States. Now he did not win the second one. That's why he couldn't accept the fact that he did not win, but he got a lot of votes, man. He got a lot of votes, and so that's the part that's really concerning to me. That he would even after he won 1 year and one term and completed that term, then ran again and continuously to get the amount of votes that he got. That was my main concern.
And also the track record of the previous presidents have been 2 terms.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Haven't had a real 1-term president in a minute.
Yeah, Trump, and he couldn't accept the fact that that he is. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, I'm going back to what the comment said. It also brought up W. You got an echo, man. I meant to tell you, you need to do your little volume thing that you do. Y'all get rid of that echo from the phone line.
Okay. There you go. Okay.
But he mentioned George W. Bush, and I think he was referring more to holding these elite people that get in these positions of power accountable, like we did yesterday. It sets the tone and lets people know that America really stands by what he said, and nobody is above the law. So when he says a Trump-like figure, to me, Trump didn't pick up momentum until he started looking like he was gonna win. Before then, it wasn't even a peep out of it. It was Tea Party before then. You know, when W stole the election, like they said, when they still ain't found weapons of mass destruction yet.
Mm-hmm.
They still ain't had a 9/11 investigation yet. But the whole world sees and knows that something was fishy about that thing. Mm-hmm. And with all the evidence that everybody was able to find and do research on to find out that these people still walking around with some type of privilege and entitlement to not be held accountable for the damage they've done to the world's psyche. Man, they traumatized the world with these actions.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we got people like Henry Kissinger still alive, wanted to go and use nuclear bombs on Iraq. Man, this man got power and influence. He's the presidential advisor. Also responsible for almost 2 million people dying in Laos and Cambodia. And he ain't never had to do one bit of accountability for it. So I think when you just actually look at, you know, like I said, man, I say this all the time, we complicate things sometimes, man. Sometimes you have to be accountable for the conditions you created and the trouble you caused, the damage you've done. And there's a certain class of people that seem to just get away with murder. And we heard earlier, maybe yesterday, that we don't arrest presidents. Them ain't the only people we don't arrest. Henry Kissinger ain't never been president, but he been in power. He had access. He's what you call elite. And we better say that word on here.
Mm-hmm.
But these are the people that run everything we got going on right now, so we're ignoring them.
Mm-hmm.
So what this is doing is letting elite people know, even if you do get up here and get to be president, and you fulfill the American dream, because you can come to America and do this, and you can be this if you grow up in America. You can be president one day. But don't think you're going to be a Hitler. Don't think you're going to be a Trump. Don't think you're just going to go and throw everything out the window and do what you want to do. You spoiled brat.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Now, I had you listen because I want you to get the feel of the atmosphere of what we was talking about. I know you, look here, you about to shift from first to fifth. But I'm asking the question, should Trump be incarcerated? And if and when he is incarcerated, what kind of message would that send to the American people and the world about what he did and how we handle situations like that? What do you say to that, Cassandra?
I'll be totally honest. I don't use this term loosely. Mm-hmm. I think Trump will go to jail when hell freezes over, and that ain't gonna happen.
Wow.
I doubt with every fiber of my being that man will not go to jail for what he did, for the coup and insurrection that he instigated. I pray I'm wrong. I with everything in me, I pray I'm wrong. And I was saying this when this man was running, and I said it multiple times since then. This guy is about dictatorship. He's about authoritarianism. His whole psyche is, I want to rule the United States and everybody do what I say, no matter what the law says. I don't give a damn. Excuse my language. I don't care what the law says. I want to run this country the way I want it run, not according to the Constitution or anything else. This is the type of mentality that Donald Trump has. And I'm going to say this, and everybody, we all believe the way we believe. When before the election, when he announced he was running, I felt sick. I literally felt this weird feeling all over me. And I was like, okay, God, we've had Republicans run for president. I'm 63. I've sat under several Republican I have never felt this crazy feeling. I said, God, what is this? Because I don't want to be judging this man, if I'm wrong. It's something wrong with this, the way I'm feeling. Man, about 2 or 3 nights later, I was sleeping. I sat straight up in my bed and I said, Hitler. And I was like, Hitler? What is that? And I heard clearly in my spirit, this man has a Hitler type spirit. That's the type of spirit. He uses propaganda to get done what he wants done. And he will lie, steal, cheat, anything to have his way.
Wow. Wow. And I can't say that you're totally wrong. I certainly can't say that you're wrong at all in what you're saying. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
So I got cut off because the phone call dropped, right? I can see where what we got going on could be a prelim to a civil war. I could see that.
Yes.
However, here's what's going to happen, and I'm going to make a bold prediction. They're going to toe the line, and then once the masses step up and take their place, they're going to bow down. See, here's the thing. You can fight a battle all you want, but if there's a war raging, what's important is who wins the war. What we saw in the election was a country is not majority conservative anymore. The country does not believe in conservative, a majority of the country does not believe in conservative values anymore. Right? The country has got tired of conservatives saying they're conservative out the front door, but out the back door, you shipping all the country's money out to benefit nobody but yourselves. So that's what we're. Now, the truth be told, in America right now, I believe you have more Caucasian Americans, Asian Americans. You have more other than African Americans that is pursuing a life of unity or togetherness. I just believe that, man. You look at the election, and although he got 74, I think it was 74 million votes, Joe Biden got 78. Right? What you saw in access of votes that came from mail-in ballots. Because if you look at the way the election is set up in every other country, even down to your third world countries, come election day, don't nobody work. You got to go to the polls. Don't nobody work. We are the only country that election day, above all other days, election day is not a federal holiday. And it's held on what day, Raheem?
A Tuesday, right at the beginning of the week. Yeah.
Has anybody thought about, well, why is it held on a Tuesday? Well, it's held on a Tuesday during the day, basically because the country is at work. So you're actually counting on a large proportion of the country not showing up and casting a ballot because they could not get off work. Right? Now you counting on that. Now you go mail-in ballots that has been proven to work in Oregon for I don't know how many years. They've been voting mail-in ballot. I just found out they was voting mail-in ballot when I wasn't even old enough to vote. So now you go mail-in ballot. So now that gives us folks who have these jobs, everybody's not in a position to where on their job they can just say, hey, I'm gonna be late tomorrow because I gotta go and vote. No, they don't. So or
if they do, in some cases, their doctor pay over the time they was out.
Bingo. So now you look at it like this. Now those very same people who, for whatever reason, with their jobs and everything, is now in a position that, guess what? I don't have to go down there and stand in line at the polls. I can fill out this piece of paper. I can drop it off at the box while I'm on my way to work, and I can keep it pushing. You know, it's funny to me. One of the things that has always throughout this whole process, because if y'all remember, I told y'all, I said it. You know, I hate to say it, but I said it years ago. I said, look, this whole thing is about separating the institutions of American government. This is all coming from Russia. It's all coming from Putin. It's all a part of the playbook. I told y'all, I said, look, I remember seeing the interview, not hearing about it. I remember seeing the interview when they interviewed his God bless the dead. They interviewed his wife, Ivanka Trump, and the reporter asked her. It's funny that Cassandra say what she's saying. The reporter asked Ivanka Trump, "Hey, so what does he like to read?" She said to the reporter in front of the camera, "Donald don't read anything." And then she thought about it, and she came back and she said, "Well, I do remember that there was one book that was on the nightstand every night, and he would read it before he went to bed." And the reporter said, "Well, what book is that? What book was that?" She mispronounced it, and then the reporter corrected her and said, "Oh, you're talking about Mein Kampf." Mein Kampf is a manifesto that's written by Hitler. Go back and look at the whole way he came. The whole way he came.
Mm-hmm.
And
Gotta
the
move on, Curtis.
whole thing that they laid out for him, it was nothing but straight out of Hitler's playbook. No ifs, ands, buts about it.
Absolutely.
No ifs, buts.
Let me go back to the phone line. See, we got a few people that just called in. Captain, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
I'm good, fine. Thank you so much. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. Good to have you, brother. We're talking about this whole situation that's going on, and I know you don't like talking a lot about politics, but we're talking about what's going to happen when and if the ex-president Trump is incarcerated. What kind of message would that send to the United States, to the citizens of the United States of America, and to the world to have an ex-sitting president incarcerated for what he did January 6th, or what he had a part of January 6th, allegedly. I have to say allegedly. What do you say to that?
Well, we are blessed to be able to live in such day and times where we begin to see some measure of justice. We have on the back of our newspaper what the Muslim want and what the Muslim believe. And on the Muslim want point number 2, it says we want justice. We want equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed, class, or color. That's on the back of our paper.
Yes.
We want justice applied equally. So if we see some measure of justice, and we are able to see that in our lifetime, which we're seeing a lot of things in our lifetime, then surely we're living in a day and time where we're going to see a president for the first time get convicted. I think, man, that justice has been loaned, and I think it would give some measure of hope to people who have been treated unjustly, that finally, we see justice applied equally to all. And I think it would be a kumbaya day in the hood, and I think it would be a great celebration. But I think it's a testimony that God of justice is on the scene today.
Yes, sir.
Whether we want to believe it or not, this is the judgment of God. And the weapon of choice that God used is the weapon of justice. So we're going to see a lot of justice before it's all over with. But I think it would be a celebration, and I think it does a great service to America that we can get some, look at I'm keyword, some measure of justice.
Absolutely.
After 4 years. That's what I believe.
Absolutely. We got a couple other callers on the phone line. I'm going to touch you in the way that you came in. Be patient when we're certainly going to get to you. Next one up is Toussaint. What do you say to that, man? What kind of message would that send to us as American United States citizens and the world to have an ex-sitting president incarcerated for allegedly his part of January 6th?
Good morning. I had some thoughts, and then I had to think again. What a shame. Shame on us. I say us.
Yeah.
Because we're one nation under God, individual, with liberty and justice for all. And we have allowed sitting president to come to this point.
So this is the type of people we choose to lead the country in this country. Shame on us.
Wow. Okay.
Shame on us. I'm just saying. I mean, that's what I would think. Now, does he deserve it? Well, him and some more. Him and some more. They got some judges and there's some lawyers and senators and governors and mayors and some more that have been getting away. Clearly, you see, there's some things that goes on in this country that they used to throw their rocks and hide their hands.
Yes, absolutely.
This type of guy that we elected as president of the United States, in his campaign speech, said, I can go out in the street and not quote, I'm not trying to quote exactly what he said, but he basically said he can go out and just shoot somebody and never lose a vote.
Yeah.
And they cheered him on. 70, 68, I don't know, almost 70, a little bit more or less, 70 million people. Can you imagine how many?
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. And they see nothing wrong with it. So that's just me.
Good deal. You did that with 40 seconds to spare. Good job, sir. You did that with 40 seconds. With 40 seconds to spare. We got another caller from the 404 area code. It says Lionel. Lionel, are you with us? 404 area code, are you there? Okay, we'll definitely come right back to you. Maybe you had to step away for a second. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Yep.
What's on your heart?
Well, I was sort of thinking like Donald was thinking before he, came on, man. First off, man, thank you, Captain Dennis, man. You just really summed up what I was trying to say earlier a lot more eloquent, man. You made it sound a lot better because I definitely didn't make it come off as understandable as you did, but it really goes to show you that if they did incarcerate him, it would prove that justice is not beyond anybody. Now, I would be worried that they wouldn't continue to do that from now on. I would be worried that maybe they're just making an example out of him. And then there's going to be other people going to continue to start doing what the others in the past did. But we also am aware of the fact that a lot of these people that enabled him and supported him, they're supporting him for their own reasons. But 74 million, not all 74 million, at the same time, it benefited their other agendas or other things that they were willing to allow this man to be president again. So we still got to think about that end of it. Not fear-mongering, but the same thing he's about to be prosecuted for, if he's prosecuted and incarcerated. Some people were willing to let that slide and put him back in office. They didn't see nothing wrong with it. Like R. Kelly.
Hey Rico, your phone. Hey Rico, your phone coming in and out, man. Your phone is going in and out a little bit.
What about now?
Yeah, that's better. That's better. Earlier it was going real low, then it came back up. But right now I think you're good. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, they didn't, a lot of 74 million people didn't see nothing wrong. They didn't see nothing wrong. For the same thing that he's about to possibly get incarcerated for. Hopefully he does. But I think it's really good, like I said, that the rest of the world will see that justice is not beyond anybody, because if they could get Slobodan Milosevic, listen, if they could go and get Saddam Hussein and prosecute him in his own country, kill his sons, and lynch him in public, they got to do something to somebody over here sometime. There's too many murderers over here, too many powerful elite murderers and bankers and CEOs. Maybe it'll send a message.
Exactly.
But hopefully it doesn't just end with him. Because if it just
30
ends
seconds.
with him, they might find another way to distract us. And then these other people that enabled him and supported him with their own agendas would start back with business as usual.
Good deal. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Nothing but you can keep moving.
I got you. Good deal. Let's keep this thing going. Let me go back to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart, sis?
Yeah, I definitely I'm rooting with Cap, even though I don't think it's going to happen. I believe that his buddies, the Proud Boys and all the white supremacists and alt-right folk, they will literally shake this country. I believe it will be a civil war if they try to prosecute Trump. And I mean that with all my heart. I hate to say that. I hate to say that that's what I really believe could happen. But this man has put himself in a position that I think that's.
Do you think? I'm asking you a question. I know your answer to the question, but I'm asking for the sake of the listeners. Do you think they really have that much hate in their heart?
I think they have that much hate in their heart for blacks and for Jews and for Mexicans and for gays and for you listen. Anytime people who I think is Rico to use the term "drink the Kool-Aid," when you get 74 million people to drink the Kool-Aid and believe that this man is some savior for the United States, making America great again. Oh God, even saying that term makes my skin crawl. Because it's never been great for most of us. Some of us, but it's never been great to most of us because of the injustice and the inequality that we continue to see in this country.
Wow.
That's just me.
Okay. Leonard, read this for me, brother.
The angry white male was very vocal when Ronald Reagan was elected. Their sentiments were placated by Reagan when he implemented policies that began reversing the civil rights gains of the 1960s. Reagan refused to meet with Reverend Jesse Jackson and other major civil rights leaders. He didn't behave as radically as Trump, but that anti-civil rights, hold on, let me get the feedback. That anti-civil rights element was very pleased with him. This is why crack cocaine and mass incarceration of black and brown people were met with indifference by so many in this country and government policies. Still to this day are very hurtful to marginalized groups. Trump was able to tap into this sentiment and pick up where Reagan left off. That's why he wasted no time attacking Mr. Obama, calling him the worst president ever, when clearly that bill fitted him to a T.
Wow. Any comments on that, Leonard?
No.
Okay. Let me do one more, brother. One more. This is Paul.
They think they want a civil war until they end up in the slammer. I doubt they love Trump more than their middle class lifestyle. Some will be violent, though.
Wow. That's good. That's good. Curtis, what do you say to that, brother? Curtis?
What was that last statement, Ryan? I heard part of it, but it was like kind of low.
Some will be violent, though.
He said some will be violent. Yeah. It says, did you hear the rest of it?
No. That's what I'm saying. The phone went a little low, so I couldn't hear it.
They think they want a civil war until they end up in the slammer. I doubt they love Trump more than their middle class lifestyle. Some will be violent, though.
That I believe that is so true. I believe that is so true. Because if you just paid attention to the hearing, if it was all about that kind of dedication right there, they wouldn't even shown up to testify. You have people that said, hey, he was our leader. He said he was going to be there and he didn't show up. So you got a percentage of them that sat back and said, oh my God, what have I done? This dude told me a bill of goods. In terms of the Civil War and this, that, and the third, right? We gonna win.
Mm.
Standing on God's side, man. So we gonna win.
Okay.
All this dude did was came and exploited an opportunity and a situation. He's going to jail, y'all. If he don't go to jail for nothing else, let me tell you, I'm gonna make a bold prediction. When the court case comes, right, they're gonna run all the gamuts of fraud and conspiracy and da. If that don't stick, the last thing they're gonna hit him with is which is dereliction of duty. Because you swore to an oath to protect a country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And what they're going to do is they're going to lay out the Bob Woodward interview. When he told Bob Woodward, yeah, I knew that COVID was coming. I knew it. And I knew it was pretty bad. And then they're going to play back when he showed up on national TV telling folks, oh, it's not that bad. It'll be gone by April and this, that, and the third. See, I keep in my mind, man, maybe I'm an optimist and sometimes I get the better of me. I keep in my mind, God don't like ugly and the devil damn sight don't like looking at stuff. All right. What God is showing us as a human body is be careful when you hang around people that ain't about me. People that don't understand. Because here's what you'll get. We ain't going back, Raheem. And without us here, the country would completely topple and fall apart.
Wow. And see, the idea, and we got to go to Tucson. Tucson have a question as well, but the idea of a civil war. My thing is, my idea, my mindset is if I had to see it's just two people laying in the middle of the road dead because of a civil war, man, that'll be so heartbreaking to me, just to see that a person will lose their life. And I don't care whether they're black, white, orange, polka dot, green, or striped, that they will lose their life over something like this, man. That to me, that will be so heartbreaking to see. Tucson, you had a question, brother.
Hey, we're around a couple times. You can bring me in, but I can wait.
Okay, hold on, brother. We got a lot of people on here, man.
No, I'm just a right little question. How much time Nixon got for Watergate?
None.
Interesting.
Okay, that's your question, Tucson. I see your point, though.
Yes,
I definitely see your point. Okay, good deal. Ibrahim, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, everybody makes a valid point for about 74 million people. It's about 368, maybe 400 million people in this country. And that's a large population to vote. That's a large part of the voter population, 68 to 74 million people. And people are power. So if you, like you say, drinking the Kool-Aid, if they up to that standard, well, they willing to fight. Oh, okay. Well, hey, y'all just catch me the next time. We got to take the chairs from the fire line.
Okay, I got you. See, let me keep this thing going. Actually, we're gonna change the topic because we don't been on this one for a minute. I want to change the topic to something else and get some. Let me see, Mary, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, I didn't want to bring you into that particular conversation right there because I know that certain things you can't talk about. So, what is on your heart? Give me a topic. It is Way Out Wednesday.
Let me see here.
Now you know your time is running. I done started your time when you say your first word. I done started your time, so you better come up with something now. Yeah, come on now.
That's all right.
Want me to go to somebody else?
Sometimes you gotta let the clock run.
Okay, let the clock run then. Everybody need a little exercise every now and then.
What does Miss Cassandra talk about anything?
Miss Cassandra? She hit the ball to you.
I think I'll just pass the ball over to me.
She sure did.
Mary. Huh?
She just passed it to you. She just
she sure did. She threw it on over here. No, my concern, last week I was at SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, conference here in Atlanta, and Jesse Jackson was one of the speakers. And I'm not saying I'm a great fan or anything, and he's pretty sick right now.
Yeah.
But this man spoke about where this country is and his concerns, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't think it was a dry eye in the house, because you could hear the cry of his soul and his spirit for this country, that we cannot allow what took place, the insurrection that took place. We cannot allow the black on black violence. We can't, man, when I tell you, it was like, and I'm not saying this to be morbid, it was like a dying man giving his final words to his man. And even now, wow. I'm getting chills just saying that. That's what it felt like. And it's like he was making a plea, y'all, please don't stop fighting for justice. Don't stop fighting for change. I mean, literally, it was like, man, tears were running down my eyes, tears were running down other people. It didn't matter because you could hear his heart in that speech.
Wow. Captain, can we ever get comfortable or lazy, if you will, and give up the fight?
Of course not. I just was reflecting on what Sister was saying about the great Reverend Jackson. That's what all of our leaders or elders have fought for, every tooth and nail, for us to have the right to vote, the right to sit whatever we want to sit, the right to drink out of whatever. Jesse played a great role in trying to bring about a change in this country. And we applaud Jesse and we love Jesse. But he's looking at the twilights of his life.
Yes.
Us for either dropping the ball, or he's looking at us seeing the ball taken away from us. I'd like to say that we're living in a time, and this is me, okay? I have to, in order for me to keep some sense of sanity, as I see the world spin out of control. The Honorable Minister Farrakhan used to say to me, he said, brother, always look for God's hand. I've learned to do that. I've learned to look for God's hand. Why did he permit it? We are Christians, we are Muslims, and we all know nothing happens but by God's will. So when we get straying from God's will, then we go.
Okay, somebody done called in with some music or something going on.
What we guess and what we think.
That's my fault, brothers.
So I try to stay in what is God's will, because no matter what we think, he has the power. We didn't think Trump was going to get in power. He didn't think he was going to get in power. But that wasn't God's will. God has the power to change men's minds. And if he do convict Trump, I don't think it's going to be civil war. We got to be concerned. We ain't got a dog in this fight. Black people ain't got nothing to do with convicting Trump. That's conservatives and whites convicting whites. It will be civil war. It'll be them. I think God is trying to tell us something. You and I ain't got the gumption to go after big racism that treated us for over 400 years. So God got to take over. Because we so forgiving. We want to see the good of America. But I'm sure that those children of Israel, they like Egypt. Everybody wasn't dissatisfied with Pharaoh. But if God said you got to go, so no matter what we want to do, I see God's hand in this. And if I didn't see God, I'd be somewhere on the beach drinking my butt off and say, the hell with this, give the heck with this. But I see God's hand, and it's coming down, no matter how you want to look at it, because I'm a spiritual man. I can't talk common and I can't talk God. You can't do the two. Either you believe in God or you believe in man. You can't straddle the fence. Ain't no gray area. So for me to become, I'm talking about me, for me to have a sense of sanity, hey, man, God's in control. I don't know what God wants. As we say in the Muslim, he's the best knower because he has the power to set the script anytime he wants.
Yes.
But I do believe, because as it was in the scripture dealing with Lazarus is begging the rich man for crumbs off his table. But God had to get Lazarus. And even when both of them was killed, the rich man went to hell and Lazarus was in the bosom of God. And then the rich man called out to Lazarus, oh, Lazarus, give me some water to kill my poor son. And Lazarus would have did it. And God had to step in and said, I got a gulf between you. You can't get to him and he can't get to you.
Wow.
That's how I see it. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to preach.
No. That was good. Tucson, what's on your heart? Because Cap said that God has to have his hand on it, have to have his hand on it in order for us to get what we need to get to. What do you say to that?
You talking to me?
Yes, sir.
It's amazing how much I agree with Abraham. Because
you said Ibrahim or Captain? Ibrahim or Captain?
Captain, I'm sorry. I'm Captain.
Okay.
Because there is nothing, absolutely nothing that catches God by surprise. You can't do nothing. Nobody can do anything without him. How in the world does he call Nebuchadnezzar his servant to bring his people to a certain point according to his will? And I agree with it. See, the Israelites didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
They told Moses, didn't we tell you to leave us alone? We could have died in Egypt.
Wow.
And the same way with us. With our mentality, let's go back to Africa. How you gonna get there with your broke self? So, but nothing, absolutely. I don't care what it is, good or bad. There's a divine will that everybody seems to overlook. You think, just like Trump thinks, who gonna make America great? Nebuchadnezzar felt the same way. This Babylon that I've made with my own hands. And before the time the day was over, he out there eating grass like an ox. You ain't built nothing. So regardless of whether we have a thought in our head, God can move his hand at any time, either to allow evil or good, and you can't do nothing about it.
Exactly. We have another caller from the 404 area code. I think it says Lionel. Don't want to put your whole name out there, but are you available, brother or sister? 404 area code.
Yes, I'm listening. I'm listening in. Pastor Lionel Gann. I'm with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. I oversee the SCLC Stop the Violence and Incarceration campaign. And you're echoing the things that we're putting out every day. So I'm just listening in right now, my brother.
Okay, definitely. It's a pleasure having you. Definitely a pleasure having you. And if you want to comment, just let me know that you want to comment on what we're talking about. I'd certainly come back and circle back around to you. Leonard, I was going to say Lionel again.
Yes,
Leonard,
sir.
what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
I'm not much of a fortune teller. But people have to proceed as righteously as they have each and every day. Those of us who are not involved in certain things are not worried about that. I love how Captain Dennis put it. It's not really something that I'm worried about to that point, because I try to line myself up with righteousness more so than anything. And, just when you observe how things are, certain people deserve what they get. For the very simple fact, they take no stand on nothing. They make excuses and things of that nature. I think it's time for people to take responsibility for themselves. For nations to take responsibility for themselves, and things of that nature, like during the Revelation that's written about. yeah, I know you did these things well and those things well, but this is what you didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm gonna hold you accountable for. So we have to really understand, what will you be held accountable for? Because it's not just one judgment for one type of people. It's
Yeah.
for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that if good people get together to do a good thing, the outcome will be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are several people that are just in league with the devil.
Mm.
And that's just who they are.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that is not that really ain't a fight in the street. That's what we refer to in Christianity as spiritual warfare.
Mm-hmm.
So we gonna keep believing like we've been believing and trying to do what we've been doing. Just because the world falls to pieces don't mean we do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just my perspective of the whole thing. I'm watching what other people do and how they're being treated.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. The phone number, give us a call. This is Way Out Wednesday. We don't have a necessary topic on Wednesdays. We talk about everything. We talk about different things from different perspectives. And so Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, we do have Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, we do have a topic. But today is pretty open discussion. So let me keep this thing going to start. Give me a topic, brother.
I guess I want to talk about when we're gonna make up in our minds, and I got something in my mouth, so y'all have to excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
To just do right.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so hard to do right? I've done a lot of wrong in my life.
Somewhere it said in the Bible that every time I want to do good, evil is always among me.
Say it again.
Somewhere it says in the Bible, somewhere I read where it says every time I want to do good, evil is always around me.
That's a good excuse.
That's scripture.
That's scripture. It says
scripture.
All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. I know.
Mm-hmm.
But it also says there's room for escape.
Mm-hmm.
Every temptation. Every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that, that most people, regardless of what kind of Jesus you want to look to,
mm-hmm.
The prime example that man can do the will of God.
Okay.
It's a prime. There are people
mm-hmm.
that make it their aim to do God's will,
mm-hmm.
to resist temptation. You resist the devil, and he will flee.
Okay.
But we make a pact with the devil. And then we get to the point, we get so comfortable with it, then we make right wrong and wrong right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we know, everybody knows right from wrong. Everybody. So why can't we just choose righteousness? I'm not talking about religion.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me flip your question a little bit, and let me stop your time. You got a minute and 15 left. Why do you think it is? Why do you think people choose the alternative to good when they're making their life decisions? Starting your time back up.
We're little atoms. Some people don't agree with it, but you put a man in a good situation, he'll figure his way to mess it up.
Mm-hmm.
How's a man come and he's made in the very image and in the likeness of God,
mm-hmm.
and God gives him some instructions to follow. You can blame it on who you want to, but we use the excuses that we want to satisfy our own pleasures.
Mm-hmm.
The lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. But he had an option. Out of all the trees, he was one tree in the garden that said, don't you do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the very tree they cleaved to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Let me go to Rico. Rico, tell me, what's your take on this whole situation, man? Why do you think, from Donald's question, why do you think man has a tendency or a propensity to always lean toward the not so good side?
I don't want to say I always lean that way, but I mean, temptation, curiosity, experience, then pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Though I mean that's part of the human cycle. You know, the human function of life. You know, if you actually pay attention to babies, man,
where you learn,
babies are so inquisitive and curious that they automatically line up putting their fingers in holes. They'll stick it in their nose. They'll stick it up your nose. If you ain't careful, they'll stick it in their behind. Because they like to explore. You know what I'm saying? It's human. That's what human nature does. If we wouldn't be here, well, where we are today, right now, if the first human beings didn't explore and learn and experience and explore their curiosity. And some of them curiosities, they're bad for you, but they feel so good. Like the apple on the tree. Look, I ain't no religious person, but I get it. Even though that apple tastes good, it might not be meant for you.
Yeah.
Because everything that tastes good and look good ain't good for you.
Come on.
I got that when I was young, because I love apples. I'm like, well, goodness gracious, why would God do something like that? I love apples, especially green ones, my Lord. And you don't tell him he forbidden to eat from it? Well, that's a hard decision to make. And then somebody bit the apple and told him, yeah, it is good. And look, then nothing happened to me. Look what happened to me. Try it. Experience, curiosity. Well, you know what? I mean, to be honest with you, man, that's pretty much everything you see going on today. Whether it's, some people might get mad when I say this. It might be somebody's sexuality right now. It all started from some type of curiosity, or maybe, you know, I ain't gonna say it all started. In some cases, it started from curiosity. And maybe no one was able to stop you from being so curious to check you because they didn't catch you in your moments of curiosity. You know, I think everybody learned to masturbate in private. But I wonder if somebody taught them, or did they just find out by accident? Being curious.
Wow.
You know, babies like to play around down there. You have to tell them, stop, stop grabbing your stuff. They don't know no better, but they still curious. So that's why people tend to go that way, because they're going to go in the direction of things that makes them feel good. We are human beings that love reward. We love pleasure. And the thing, and to make the choice to sacrifice that reward in this human vessel, this body, is so hard. It's so hard. Even Adam knew better, and he couldn't fight.
Exactly.
Ain't that what the book said?
Absolutely. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Joseph, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, sir. Enjoying the program, enjoying the whole family.
Good deal. Good
deal. I was thinking about a topic of education and versus brainwashing of our children. These last 2 years, we've lost a lot of elders, and that COVID-19 seemed to be brutal on that age group, the 65 and up. But those are the ones with the information. Those are the ones who still have the knowledge, say, in our community of the civil rights movement and so on and so forth. But now there is talk about diluting or watering down history in our schools. Because I believe the politicians would rather deal with an uninformed younger Black population than to deal with the seasoned veterans. And we got to be mindful of that. I don't know if it's by design that this disease attacked the elders most or what, but I do know that if that information leaves and we don't pass it down and we don't get our young people informed, then the warriors of tomorrow might be a little weaker than what they were back in the 60s, so on and so forth. Just want to share that.
Okay, Joseph, let me say this to you. Do you think that, because a lot of people are real large on research, we got quite a few people on here that do a lot of research, and you said they're watering down the history. Now, 10, 20 years from now, do you think that they're going to take certain parts of the research, so we go on to say a Google or a Bing or someone like that and try to pull up the information, it's going to be watered down and it's not going to be the actual facts that happened as it happened? Do you think that's what's going on?
Well, I don't think that's happening right now. I think Google can be a very helpful resource for young people today, especially. I've learned a lot.
No. I mean, in the future, do you think that's the way where they're going? That's the direction that they're trying to go in to dilute.
No, I think most of our kids that are under these curriculums and these various schools, especially in the red state, are more likely to get a romanticized version of slavery and of the Black Panther movement and so on and so forth than they would to get the information that you and I were able to get. I would think.
Okay, got you.
Now I don't think it might affect the broader sources of information like Google, and those centers of higher learning. But who got the money to go to those centers of higher learning?
That's good. So
the public education, should be sacred and safeguarded. We should be adamant. We should be protesting in the street the way some of these other groups protest over abortion and other things when it comes to educating our children. Carter G. Woodson told us about the miseducation of the Negro. He warned us about that. We a whole generation or several generations had been miseducated, myself included. A lot of the information that I learned was in later years, and listening to people like Minister Louis Farrakhan, Malcolm X, and others. They gave me more information than I got in the public schools.
Yeah, absolutely. Cassandra, what do you say to that? Do you think they're trying to curb the history and give us a watered down version of it?
Absolutely. And this past weekend, as you know, I directed for the 14th year the Moores Ford Bridge lynching. And a lot of times people, ask me, well, why do you want to reenact something that is that horrific? Because it's the truth. 5 people died at the hands of white supremacists on July 25th, 1946 in Monroe, Georgia. That's a part of our history. That's a part of Black history, U.S. history, because it's the last unsolved mass lynching in U.S. history, and it's a part it's just a part of us. And when we negate what we went through to appease other people, then we lose a part of who we are. I don't glorify, putting the information out there, putting that lynching out there. But think about it like this. Somebody killed your mama, your aunt, your cousin. 5 different people in your family was killed. Do you not want to know who, why, what about that is so wrong for people to want to know their history? And the family members of the Malcolms and the Dorseys, the victims of the lynching, they applaud us every year. They thank us. And if they can't make it, they say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not going to make it this year, but please keep the fight going. Because people need to know the history of this country. And I agree with the gentleman that just spoke before. We have got to not let it be watered down to some romantic fantasy about slavery, about the civil rights movement, none of that.
That's good. Leonard, talk to me, brother. What do you say about this, man? Watering down history and don't want to give the absolute truth, absolute facts as to how it happened, when it happened, why it happened, or what have you.
I think that's going to be up to every individual to seek this knowledge out. And like you say, people are going to keep telling the story. The stories are all written. The thing about it is ignorance is no longer a value. People who want to know, go find out. I'm 51. So it's not like I didn't know things before. I've been studying forever. So one, if you think it's going to be accomplished K through 12, you're wrong. You have to teach this in your home. If you are the ones that suffered, then you need to be the one to teach it. You need to be the one to understand it's your responsibility to keep the history you want out there, not someone else's. So that's why we support all these different types of efforts. That's why we support the Apex Museum and things like that. Museums of African American history in this country, and making sure that they get established and they support it. So you can tell. Trust me, you'll never go to one place to hear all of the stories.
Yeah.
You have to make it a part of your lifestyle. K through 12 is not that venue that's going to do that.
Leonard, sometimes we have to travel to actually talk to the people that were there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or now you don't even have to travel. It's at your fingertips.
Yeah, it is. It is.
There are stories that nobody's interested in telling that you may find out and turn into a book one day. Just because it was your experience where you were at and someone told you the story. So it's not like it's going to disappear. It's going to be, how can we use it? How can we use it? Things that cannot be used get disregarded. So we should make sure that, one, just like your Bible, the reason why we ain't threw them away is because it's still proving itself applicable to this life that we live each and every day. And it makes itself useful.
Yes.
So we have to make sure that regardless of a lie that somebody else tells, here's the truth of the matter. So I don't think there's any fear of losing it. It's just that, one, it becomes applicable a different way. You would hope that, knowing the history, people would be voting, wouldn't you?
You would think.
You would think, right? So there's another piece that people are overlooking. It's a commitment to making things better. Not just sitting around talking about what was. Are you voting today?
Exactly.
Are you a part of a legacy organization that keeps this history alive? Are you supporting its teaching? You know, you don't have to go to their school for your story.
Wow. Good deal. Good deal. Let's keep this thing going on. Let me go to Mr. Lionel. Lionel, you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay. What is on your heart about watering down history? Because I know you seem like a man of history as well. So what do you think about them trying to water down history and not giving us the absolute truth as to what happened, how it happened, and when it happened?
Oh, that's one of the key factors that they've been using all along. They don't want us to know the true history of America. They want to change that so that, you know, they don't want to bring out the true facts about their history because it shows who they are. You know? So, you know, every time we get an opportunity to bring forth the truth, we have to do it.
Yeah.
Because our people don't know the real truth behind, you know, all these things that are happening in America right now. Right now, gentlemen, we are at war. I mean, when you look at all the things that are happening to us, you look at the fact that our children are literally dying in the streets every day. When you look at the fact that they're even producing GMO products, GMO foods that are designed to target our DNA. When you look at the things like the coronavirus and all these things that are happening, you know, all of these things are geared toward our destruction. And we have the world know that these things are happening. And first of all, we have to educate our own people, because they don't realize that we are literally at war in this country. And everybody's turning a blind eye to it.
Wow. Wow.
Now, I have a question I want to ask the panel and those that are on the panel today. Okay, it's time for us we done marched, we done protest, and I've led a lot of you know, protests and things of that sort. And now we're at a point where it's time for us to stand up and fight for our freedom. And I'm talking about, it's time for us to literally fight for our freedom. If this was happening to white America, okay, they would have been done went to war to fight for their rights, to fight for their existence. When are we as Black America, when are we going to stand up and fight for our freedom?
Captain?
Amen.
Captain?
Yes.
Want to respond to his question?
He articulated well where we at, and I really appreciate that. He's absolutely on point. You know, we have come to that junction in the road where we started the talking, the marching, the protesting, the falling, the sitting. We there. I feel, what is it that we need to do to take it to the next level? You know, we're bound by fear. Fear of losing our life for what we really don't believe in. You don't have to find people who are convicted enough to go out there and fight for justice, as Martin Luther King did under the Civil Rights era. They met Bull Connor in the brutality of the dogs and going up and down Selma and night riders. And then now you look at, when we see it on television, we say, well, I don't know if I'm willing to go that far to let dogs be sick and busting their heads with billy clubs. We got to get back to that spirit that we have to believe. We have to say the old saying, give me liberty or give me death.
Mm-hmm.
Until we remove the fear factor. And fear is a factor. As the minister called for 10,000 fearless, 10, 15. What? 10,000 fearless? You've got to be fearless in order to go out in the street and be willing to bring about a change. So my brother, what I would say to you, it's a fear factor. There's a generation who are disconnected from history. I like what the gentleman said. The best way to help ignorant people is not to be one. I'm going to say that again. The best way to help ignorant people is not to be one.
Mm-hmm.
Each one must teach one. So we came, you said we at war, but how many people are putting on the armor of God? How do you know we at war? You say we at war, and I agree with you. But how many people know we at war? So the Bible said we're not warring against flesh and blood, but we warring though. We warring.
Mm-hmm.
We have to come together, my brother, put aside our differences, and this is the kind of dialogue that creates the kind of answers to the solution. When we can sit down, you can ask an intelligent question to an intelligent panel, and every one of us give you what our view of that answer. I think we're closer to the solution than we are away from the problem.
Absolutely.
I hope I answer.
Absolutely. Curtis, answer that, brother.
Answer what, Raheem?
The question the brother just asked.
When are we going to pick up and fight?
Yes, basically, yes. Mm-hmm.
We already done started that. It ain't at full tilt, but that's already started.
Now, when you say who, when you say we, who are you referring to? When you say we, who are you referring to? I want to make it clear for my listeners.
Not only the African American community, but those that believe that there was a fight against the African American community. We already done started that. That started. It's at the beginning of it, but it's done started. Listen, I got a 28-year-old son. This generation ain't taking that foolishness. I'm here to tell you. You come at them. You come at them and try and handle them any kind of way. Okay. They're going. They. I can't say what I was ready to say, but they're going to war with it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You pull out a gun, they pulling out a gun. You pull out a knife, they pulling out a gun.
Mm-hmm.
They not playing. There's a generation of African American males and females that is not going to tolerate the things of old. They're not tolerating it, period.
Mm-hmm.
That's already done started. It's done started. We just not seeing it at full fruition yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's coming. It's coming. But I do want to say this, Raheem. I'm gonna land the plane right here. I don't know if you caught on, but I do need to tell you that Dr. King is in your presence right now. His spirit is in your presence. If anybody has been paying attention, the organization for which he has started has come up in our conversation
Yes.
3 times.
Yeah.
In less than 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Then you actually have the national leader, if I heard him correctly, and I could have misheard him, so I don't want to misspeak his position and title, but you have the national leader of that very same organization on the phone right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. It's a
Now,
blessing,
I'm gonna
brother.
tell you
It's a
another
blessing.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Malcolm is setting in this conversation right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you listen, we have had in allude to something Brother Malcolm has said and or done in the midst of our conversation. So all I can say is glory be to God. Thanks, brothers, for showing up, my ancestors for showing up and show out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's already done started, man.
Good deal.
It's already done started.
Good deal. Good deal. Cassandra, talk to me.
Yeah, Mr. Lionel, I did not catch your position with SCLC, but I'm sure you were at the conference on last week and heard Dr. Charles Steele, actually the president of National SCLC president, Dr. Charles Steele. He actually initiated the Moores Ford Bridge lynching reenactment because he said that we needed to remember, we needed to know that history, and we needed to fight for those families after all this time to still get something clear. And as a result of that, I was asked to direct the reenactment. Mm-hmm. So I applaud SCLC for still standing for justice.
Absolutely.
Standing for equality. Mm-hmm. And CAP represents the Islamic community.
Mm-hmm.
So
the nation.
The nation, yeah, so beautifully. And so we have people on this line that are on the boot. They're boots on the ground. They're not standing back, just saying, hey, we need to do this, y'all need to do that. These are people from the Christian and Muslim community that are actually doing the work. And just to have them on the line is a blessing, and I appreciate, and I want to say that publicly, that I appreciate having people, men of that stature, on this panel today.
To God be the glory. Absolutely. Absolutely. Rico, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart? Rico?
Yeah, all right, man. I recognize that too, man. I appreciate y'all for coming on. I hope one day that the SCLC comes back to the place of prominence that it once was, because I made the comment once before that it ain't where it used to be. And so if it could get back to where it was, we probably would see a lot of change, because I do remember seeing the last remnants of a very strong movement. Now you barely hear it. I mean, we don't even have a chapter around here, especially since Reverend Nettles died. He asked a question. And the question is when are we going to start fighting? And the thing is we live in a society right now that we don't even realize that we need to fight. Because some people think they're living their best lives. So they don't put time and effort into the most important things that we need to pay attention to. That's why we see so much distraction, and we see preachers bragging about jewelry and phantoms and then getting robbed in the middle of church service. There are so many different things that we notice. Yeah, there are some of us in fighting, and there's some of them in this new generation fighting. But some of those men wearing high heel shoes and wigs, they ain't finna buzz nothing. Wow. So it's a whole lot of stuff we got to change in our community. So the question was pretty clear. Yeah, we could be eloquent and philosophical and come back and try to sound like geniuses, but listen, we ain't fighting the way we need to be fighting. Well, what are they fighting when they do fight? I like what Joseph said too, man. I mean, this about the education system. See, now we could talk about that. We could talk about the school to prison pipeline. We can also speak on the fact that he said these words, the man named Carter G. Woodson, kicked out of a black college for trying to teach African history. So yeah, you can go out and find research, but then if you don't know, you need to go out and find it, because you've been told this education you're getting is all you need to make it. then you're going to have a rude awakening. Like January 6th to me was a rude awakening. 74 million people finding that man acceptable to be in that seat and represent a country is a rude awakening. That you have a lot of sick individuals of all colors and creeds that will settle for anything just to get their agenda across. So when we're going to start fighting this behavior and this mindset, when we're going to stop disputing people when they say we're at war, and then we go and use textbook definitions that they gave us, when really and truly we know it's psychological warfare. We expect these children to know that they need to go out and find better information, but their elders aren't around to give it to them.
Wow.
Because like I think pretty much everybody on here has been saying, I didn't get everything that I know from school. I got a lot from my elders and on my own research, but there were things that I had to experience to make me realize and open my eyes to the fact that something they ain't telling me.
Wow.
Let me dig a little deeper.
Good deal.
You can easily be discouraged. I was that child that used to get kicked out of classroom, be called disruptive by asking logical questions. Like if Columbus discovered America, then who were these people that was already here? Get out.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to stick to the curriculum. You got to stick to the program. But if you are just receiving that program because there's a reward for succeeding in this program that we give you in this training. And if you pass this test with this based off the information we tell you you need to remember, and this is history, but you thinking differently and you know it ain't right, you're a failure.
Good deal.
You better answer that question the way we tell you to answer it. And sooner or later, you just what they call get indoctrinated into the system because it's so successful. So I mean, we got a rude awakening that we got to come to. Because one thing we have, well, go ahead, man. Go ahead. I've been on it for a second. Go ahead.
Okay. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We love to have your input. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Not a whole lot, because exactly what people need to be doing is doing what's right. Now, if you ain't been doing that, that's on you. If you ain't never felt the need to do something about injustice and wrongdoing, don't blame that on everybody else. Like I said, we've been doing it. I'm always a part of an organization working with organizations to get it done. But I think the thing that people are missing is you want to be at war. What type of war do you want to be at? Everybody talks about this war, but what part are you playing? What are you doing if it's such a war? What are you doing? It's not about looking to someone else to do something. You have to get involved. Guess what this war is really about? Representation of interest. If you want to really go to war, I hear everybody, let's go to war, let's go to war. How about let's go to the polls and vote? How about let's win? How about let's create families? How about that? It's not going to be so many people want to just run out in the street with guns and just start. If that is what you're looking for, trust me, like my brother said, the revolution will not be televised. What you gonna do? You could have been revoluted. You could have been doing something. Have you been educating yourself on how to fight your enemy? Have you been doing your best to position yourself to support an effort to fight your enemy? What is it and that's the thing I think that people are missing. What are you planning to do? What does it look like to you? Oh, we at war, but you can't tell me where you're going, who you're fighting, what you expect to win, what's the next objective.
Get that. Somebody wanted to say something. Who wanted to say something just now? Somebody was.
This is Pastor Gant.
Okay.
With the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Listen, y'all, we are literally living in Bible prophecy right now. Right now. If I turn your attention to the book of Genesis, the 15th chapter, the 13th and the 14th verse, and it says literally, God was speaking with Abram, and it says, then he said to Abram, know assuredly that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs,
Mm-hmm.
and will serve, and they will afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they serve, I will judge. We got to look at the God factor in this. That right now we've been here for that 400 years,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're seeing the hand of God acting out the judgment upon America. And we have to, come ye out from among them and be separate, because God is judging this nation right now as we're speaking.
Mm-hmm.
We have lived here for that 400 years, and now we're seeing the change. We've had a black president. Right now, we have a black vice president.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bottom rail is coming back to the top. Like something that my grandmother used to always say to me, don't worry, Lionel, that one day the bottom rail is going to come back to the top.
Mm-hmm.
God is reestablishing us as his people. Now we know who we are. We know that we are the children of Israel, that we are the Hebrew nation of Israel, that we are the descendants of Yeshua, of Jesus Christ, that we are the lineage of the Bible, that this whole Bible that we thought was the white man's Bible was literally our black history, talking about who we are and who we represent. And now that truth is coming out. These young people now, they're researchers. If I make a statement, they'll go back and research that statement and see, where did he get this from?
Mm-hmm.
And now they're coming to the knowledge of the truth of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that we are the children of the Most High God. Mm-hmm. And God is fighting for us right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson. You did? Tucson, let me say something to you, man, and you tell me whether you agree or disagree. But you can tell, man, a pastor that's been doing this thing for a long time, man, old school pastor, if you will, because that brother, he said, "Let me turn your attention to." God, boy, that's older, man. Look here, that's the man that took me back there, brother. I was like, oh, whoa, I'm there. But Tucson, talk to me, brother. I listen to every word, brother. Talk to me. What's on your heart? He said, "Let me turn your attention to." God Almighty, y'all missed that.
Yes, indeed. Bring you to the text.
Yes, sir.
Well, you know what I thought about, man? Every ingredient of righteousness it takes to get something done. And when I thought about this whole thing and everybody that is here and this panel that we have, and everybody comes from a different perspective, that's good, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes if you can put those ingredients together.
Yes.
I thought about
gumbo,
the little ant. They say, go down there. If you really want to find out something and how to operate or get something done, go check the ant out. Just said it. Now, here's the beautiful part about ants. There's no leader. We get trapped up in wanting to make sure that somebody follows the way we do things. And if you can't agree with me or anybody else, the next thing we try to do is discredit. You don't have to do that. You can work together in the strength that you have with somebody else that has another strength. In matter of fact, you can work with some folks that have weaknesses, because the strong bear the infirmities of the weak. We in this thing together. We all got the same fight. We all trying to get out the hole. We're almost there. But you can't wait till I get halfway up and grab me by the ankle. Push up.
Yeah.
Don't push down.
Come on.
So I'm just enjoying the conversation because, if we keep working together, don't talk about these young folks. They got what we need. Don't discredit what the oldest have. You need that. How you gonna go somewhere that you never been? Ask somebody that doesn't. Anyway, matter of fact, I'll shut up when I say this. I tell people all the time, when they say I'm going crazy, I said, don't turn around. That's not the way to go. I've been there.
He said, I've been there. He said, I've been there. Badger, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Another beautiful and blessed day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning to you. Good morning to you. What's on your heart, brother?
Man, I don't know what the original topic started off this morning was.
Man, you know, this is where I Wednesday, brother. We don't have about 10 topics today.
Man, what's the current one? So that way I know exactly what was said.
Talking about war going to war and battling a civil war, if you will. Are we equipped? Should we even think about it? Or are we already there?
I think we're there, just not in the same place as we were before. To me, it's more of fighting battles legally. You know, like the stuff that I sent some of you guys yesterday about what a couple of people are here in Texas fighting right now is the foster system and child care and stuff, and people catching them falsifying documentation. And they're taking the people to court and all of that kind of stuff. So I think a lot of our fighting for balance, quality, and all the good stuff that us good human beings have been wanting. It's legal battles. In my eyes, different depending on the state you live in, also changes how hard you have to fight. And sometimes it even can boil down to what small town you live in. Like one of the battles I have around here is trying to get people to speak up and stuff and not be so terrified to speak.
Why do you think they're afraid?
Oh man, some of the black folks I've talked to literally think that they'll just be killed in one way, shape, or form, and the white folks think the same thing. But they don't think or do things a certain way. They're going to be outcasted. Their kids are going to be harmed, and it's almost like it's still stuck in that Jim Crow era, and it's slowly getting away from it. But this place is very behind.
Wow.
So I think a lot of the fighting, and I think some people have this idea that war is done with guns. And in my perception, most of the time a war doesn't start until somebody speaks against another.
Good deal. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Captain, do you think, and not trying to dispute anything that was said, but do you think even in the year 2022, people are still in that mindset to think that they're going to get killed if they speak their opinion or voice how they feel about certain things?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in that type of. I'm not hanging around with them kind of folks that's afraid. You know, I'm in the nation, man. You know, and I just don't surround myself with fearful people. So I'm not in that cycle. I do believe that, you know, we have a lot of distractions. I think they just did a thing that yesterday was on the news that they said that marijuana and its potency is the number one reason that people are becoming addicted to marijuana. Well, you know, there's people that think marijuana that's in the hood is medical marijuana, but that ain't the case. But this young generation, you can smell them when they come down the street. But everybody who used to smoke marijuana, I was one of them, you know, it makes you very complacent. I ain't never seen people smoke marijuana and want to fight.
No.
I've never seen, dudes out there duking it out because they just got through smoking some weed.
Mm-hmm.
It takes away the aggressiveness. It makes you very docile. It takes away your willingness to fight on a physical level. So you'll sit there and philosophize, smoke some weed, and philosophize to justify why you ain't got to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
No, man, my fault. I'm going to just go chill. I think they have dummied down our generation by flooding our community. And even though, I mean, there are people that smoke weed for whatever reason, but I think it has done a lot to destroy the aggressiveness for our young people willingness to fight. It just makes you laid back. It just makes you chill. And I think with all this, I mean, you see more women smoking weed, young girls smoking. And I mean, you can almost, people get in your car, you can smell it. It just makes them laid back. They don't have that fight. I heard what Curtis said. Curtis' sons is an exception to the rule. Everybody like that. Curtis, young people willing to kill each other if you rise up against them. But man, the police shooting us down. I ain't hearing no young people shooting the police down.
Mm-hmm.
So we pick and choose who we want to fight. So no, I don't believe people are afraid. You know, I don't run with people like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't run with scared people.
Exactly.
That's all I got.
Good deal. Good deal. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
No, I what's on my heart is I agree with what Brother Minister just said, Cap. I just also see where we're at the beginning of that fight. We're at the beginning of that pushback. I don't think you're going to see it massively yet. I can tell you what, though. If I know that the work that those older than me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's how I know their work, right? One, we will never, ever in the history of America see another black leader like Martin and Malcolm, Mecca. We will never see them publicly lynched the way that we saw that. We will never see that again. We ain't gonna take that. We ain't gonna tolerate that. I believe that because you're at the beginning of it, we will never publicly witness another situation like George again. We will never. You may shooting and this, that, and the third, but even that's starting to boil over. These young folks, they not playing, man. They not playing. Now, I remember doing a play, and I remember playing Malcolm X, and I remember Malcolm saying in the play, these same folks that sat in your nonviolent meetings and sat peacefully and get their heads beat in, they go back into their own communities and very same violence that was committed against them. It's the race. He said they stack families on top of families out here till you can't breathe no more, right? And I can see where that has happened, but I am not going to take away from the fact that there is strides being made, and this younger population is not going to return. They are not going to return to business as usual. They're not going to go back to I guess you could say separate but equal. They're not going to go back to a white water fountain and a black water fountain, or getting up and giving up to a white person on a bus, or walking in the curb, walking in the gutter because a white person is walking down the curb. They ain't going back. I'm telling y'all, they. And that may be before. That may be when we see the full thing, the full fight start. I think about old girl out of Missouri.
Wrap it up for me, Curtis.
No more time. But the way she broke that thing down, man, she told all of us, it's coming. When she talked about if you played a Monopoly game and you played it for 400 years and you didn't allow for me to play, and then once you allow for me to play, you give me less money, and then once I still amass money, you start taking more money from me, and she was like, you know what? We can burn it down.
Mm-hmm. Good
The
deal.
phone nothing in here.
Mm-hmm. Leonard.
I'm
Sir.
They so numb. We ain't doing.
Okay.
What we
Hold on,
trying-
Curtis. Gotta keep it moving, brother. Whatever happened, and why a lot of people don't want to talk about or have a conversation on Marcus Garvey?
There's no such thing as nobody don't want to have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We participate with brothers that do it annually and regularly. Is if you're a follower of Marcus Garvey, then that is what you choose to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Be about the things that Marcus Garvey was about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not just to sit up there, just hold his name up as if it's his name that causes change.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how that works. You know, we have associations that are dedicated to those types of moves like Marcus Garvey was making.
Mm-hmm.
You have to plug into them instead of sitting around talking about what ain't nobody else doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing it.
Now, when you say you, are you talking about me specifically or as a whole?
No, I'm talking about anybody who acts as if nothing's being done.
Okay. Okay.
It's like Curtis said. It been started. Where you been?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, everybody think the first time they hear something is so significant. It's significant to you.
Mm-hmm.
You got folks on this phone right now, been fighting over 20 years.
Well
over 24 years, dedicated to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so when people talk about what is not happening and ain't nothing gonna be done and all, no, you're not going to be doing it because everybody else is. That's why when you talk about, I hear people talking about the fight. Are y'all talking about fighting with y'all hands and rocks and guns and all that? Is that what y'all gonna do, really? Because we ain't seen no fighting nowhere but in your community.
Mm. Wow.
Okay, against one another. We ain't seen you show up with that much energy where it really counts when it comes to leadership.
Well, again, I have to say, we can't paint with such a why I'm stopping your time.
Right. So there are fights going on everywhere. You just have to pick which side you're gonna be on and be about their business.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Trust me, you ain't gonna invent nothing new. You know how some people come along. How you gonna tell somebody that been fighting over 20 years they don't know what they doing, they ain't did nothing, and we need to do something else, but you have no idea what you need to do?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Cassandra?
Yeah, I've been listening to everyone and I know I mentioned, history and talking about Moores Ford Bridge in Georgia. Do we realize that Moores Ford Bridge, those people were lynched in part because of the 1946 Democratic primary, which was the first year that Blacks were allowed to vote in the Democratic primary in Georgia. And then Governor Eugene Talmadge, who is considered one of the most racist governors in the South, ran his campaign on the issue that if you reelect me into this position again, niggas may vote in this primary because the federal government said so, but I promise you they will not vote in the next primary. Now we have a governor in Georgia in 2022 that has fought to still suppress, and they are trying to pass laws and have passed some laws that will suppress certain groups of us in the state of Georgia from voting. There is a fight going on, and some of us, like Leonard said, we've been in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in the fight. I do whatever I can when it comes to getting people to vote, going out there canvassing, whatever it takes to try to make us know that we are not that far from 1946. There are people still saying right now, if you put me in position, I'll see that niggas get in their place.
Mm. Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't think she was about to stop right there. I thought she was going to keep going. I didn't. She caught me off guard when she stopped all of a sudden. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, is man from the SCLC still on?
Yes.
I want to ask him a question, then I'm gonna make my point. Participation, enrollment, or just even I'm gonna say traffic. I'm gonna say, as far as inquiries from other people. What is enrollment and interest in like in the SCLC now compared to in the past? Hello,
Mr. Lionel?
I don't understand your question. When you say enrollment, what are you talking about?
Membership. Membership.
As far as membership is the membership and activity as strong now as it was in the past, or has it sort of like waned a little bit, and y'all looking for more people to get involved like it was in the past? Has the momentum died?
Well, I work in where, as far as I'm concerned, I oversee the SCLC Stop the Violence and Incarceration campaign. Okay, but due to the pandemic, we didn't host any of our events for the last 2 years. Okay, but we have people coming from all over the country. When we host the SCLC Stop the Violence and Incarceration Love Fest, these young people come out and they show out, bro. They show out. I'm talking about ain't no pants sagging, ain't no booty shorts. We're talking about our young people come out, and basically what we tell them that they can sing, they can act, they can do whatever they want to do, but it has to be about stopping the violence. It has to be about us making a change, about us doing something positive. And look, when these young people put pen to paper, it is an awesome event to be at. And the last one we had at the Tupac Shakur Center for the Arts. And we ran out of sign-out books. We had over 500 people signing up in an hour because it was so many people, it was so many of our youth that came out to those events. And basically they're on fire. They want change. They want to be involved. And we're seeing, not necessarily, them enrolling in the SCLC, but we be working with the NAACP and the Nation of Islam. They provide security for us at a lot of these events that we host. And then the Black Panther Party, they were at our last event that we had in the Mall West End. They provided security for us. The brothers was in uniform. They were standing tall. They were right there. I mean, it's a powerful event. Now, we haven't had those recently because of we didn't want to, create what they call a super, what do they call that? We didn't want to do an event that would be a super spreader.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, but now we're getting ready to start back up our SCLC Stop the Violence Love Fest. And you got to be there, bro. You have to see this, a powerful event. Now, and I want to remind you all that, look, y'all, this thing is real. I mean, they're looking for us to annihilate ourselves. I was speaking with one of my co-hosts that was in Chicago. That was in LA, and then I was speaking to another one that was in Detroit. And literally, these organizations are literally dropping off guns, crates of guns in Chicago, crates of guns in Detroit, with the ammo in these crates, so that we could kill ourselves. They're putting it out there. They're not only flooding our communities with drugs, but they're also flooding our communities with weapons. And our youth are getting these weapons, and we are killing each other. So we had to change our focus. We had to turn our focus back on us. We had to start working with stopping the violence between us. We got to stop us from killing us right now, and that's what been our greatest success right now. They're on fire, bro. They're on fire. The youth are on fire out there. Or what we could call the millennials, they're on fire.
Good deal. Anything else, Rico?
Yeah, well, see, the reason why I asked that question was because in my city and in a lot of other cities I've been in since then, the SCLC doesn't exist anymore. It lost its momentum, and the NAACP is on life support. Not to a lack of effort, not to a lack of outreach, but for a lack of interest from the people. See, when you ask that question, when are we going to fight for our freedom? But if you don't, if people already think they're free, and it is some people on here that would dispute that comment that you made.
Mm-hmm.
But you said that when are we going to fight for our freedom? Well, if you all think you need to fight for freedom because you think you're free, you're going to be wondering what's the use of fight. So who's going to be interested in listening to that? That's the point I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
If the outreach is out there, I think when he was making that comment, he wasn't making the comment to those of us that actually, even just coming on this platform, acknowledging and talking about the conditions that exist. That's outreach. That's letting it be known for those that are noticing it to want to find out more, to come and talk and find out a little bit more. It's that rude awakening that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
See, if you don't think you are at war, then you're going to think they don't know evil exists. If you're going to think that we are in a war, then you're going to think that there's no inequality or any inequity, injustice. But we are at war against all of those things. And it got a little hot sauce on it because we black.
Okay.
So that's the war we're fighting. We're fighting inequality. We're fighting injustice. Look, we're fighting oppression. We're fighting poverty. We're fighting our schools failing in this public school system, and we're fighting our children being brought up in broken homes and families being torn apart, and then our prison incarceration system increasing with people that look like us, our youth. See, our youth, they are on fire, and then a lot of them are getting burned. I just saw another rapper got killed again the other day, and he invited his ops to his house. Y'all come get me. Y'all know what time I get here. And they got there. They met him. They beat him there. There's a lot of that going on, too. So I think he's speaking, and I thought you were speaking to those people, because I think everybody on this platform taking their time out of their day to even come on here and address these issues is somewhat making outreach to those, to let them know. I mean, because you can put it out there. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I think you're talking to those horses that don't want to drink.
Good deal. Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Let me go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
I was listening to what everybody was saying, and I agree with them. I sent you a post or a thing on Facebook to give a little bit more understanding of some of the things that I helped fight out here in Texas. A place called, give me one moment. VIDOR, VIDOR, Texas. 2022, right? Yet there's still a sundown town.
Wow.
Yeah. So there are still places that still exist that are like that.
There's a few sundown towns around Georgia too. There's still a few of them around here.
So that's why, like, it. And to me, that's one of the things, like, that there's so much going on, and then you have to add in voting rights. You've got to add in, you know, the towns that are still like that are here and there. You know, in most southern, I think it's more in southern states than northern ones. I don't think I really came across any northern ones yet. And it's a fight. And to me, we have to decide, you know, are we going to do it with guns or are we going to do it legally? It's one of the things I brought up before when we were on a similar topic of there are laws in place for hate groups. It's just getting the government and the police and stuff to actually do what they're supposed to do, primarily the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to investigate and, go after that kind of stuff.
As opposed
to. Huh?
You say supposed to.
Supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
The laws are there. It's just making them do it.
Exactly.
And that's one of the many things that we have to fight. I was hearing, I don't know what his name is, but the SCLC.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Lionel.
Talking about, huh?
Mr. Lionel.
Lionel?
Yes, his name is Lionel.
Lionel. Talking about the guns and stuff like that, the guns and the drugs. But I also agree with them. The ones that they call the millennials, are doing a lot of amazing things. I know, and like I mentioned about the what they're doing down here in Texas right now, down by Austin. One of the people I know is called Candace Matthews, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting the health department and child services and all that kind of stuff right now because of all the stuff that they do, especially to minority kids.
Mm-hmm. Wrap it up for me, Badger.
Mm-hmm. So I just really hope people that are listening today realize that that a lot of us might not be fighting with guns. We're fighting with words and knowledge and laws, using the tools that we do have against those that would rather us stay ignorant and not know what they are.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. Goddess, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Is the fight still ongoing, Goddess?
The fight is still ongoing. The fight is still ongoing, and I'm a soldier.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to put that out there. And the young man was just speaking earlier about the SNLC.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do a movement, and that movement needs to go across. So if you got SNLC offices across the United States, because I've never heard of them in Kansas City,
mm-hmm.
Kansas or Missouri. So not saying they don't have them. I just ain't never heard of them. So that means they not out here speaking. They're not out here putting themselves out here. Our NAACP is, they not really a strong basis someone spoke, but we do got the new Black Panthers, and they on the mission right now. But what I wanted to say is that I wanted to address some of the things that Badger was saying. We might have the laws, we might have all that, but if you got the wrong people in the offices who's not going to enforce the laws, that's where the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the major problem is, and that's what we're having a problem with. We're having a problem with the FBI and the police department, the police officers, or the police union, should I say, have such a relationship that they don't do any investigation on certain stuff. So that right there is one of the major reasons. And so choosing who you have, but removing this is just what I've seen in the past, but removing someone who's part of the police union, the FOP, that even gets even harder. Now you can choose your police chief, but choosing your FOP, because your FOP is who runs the police department.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been seeing.
Okay. Good deal. Yes.
I'll put the information out on your Facebook page. Because this is what we do. New Order National Human Rights Organization. If you interested in the SCLC and they don't have no chapter where you at, follow that link that I just posted on Facebook. You can reinstate and form your own chapter of the SCLC.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's good. That's good. Cassandra.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Cassandra. Cassandra, you there? Cassandra going
Yes,
on?
sir. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
What's on your heart, sis? Talk to me.
No, I mean, everyone, you know, is making valid points. Yeah, and this is cliche, but if we want to see change, what do we always say? These are change that you want to see. I think Rico would be great to start a chapter in his area. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
He's an advocate. He's passionate about justice, and that's what it's all about. So then we have to be. That's my biggest thing. And even if I talk a lot, I do more than I talk about. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't want to just say, yeah, we need to do this, we want to do it. I want to be that person that is actually doing it, and I am. And I am, just like Leonard, just like Cap, just like Reverend. I don't even know if he knows who I am, but, you know, we've been in each other's company with Tyrone Brooks and Nathan Knight on several occasions. But these are people that are actually doing something and making the difference.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe in.
Good deal. Good deal. Cap, talk to me, sir.
Man, you know, I was just thinking, Raheem, how honored I am to be on this line of Morning Glow with some of the most brilliant people that I have met. I mean, there's no question that steel sharpens steel. And I have been sharpened by the conversations and the input of the brilliant minds. And I'm not saying this, family. I'm not trying to flatter y'all, for real. You don't even know on a daily basis, Leonard, how much I quote you. Curtis, you don't know how much I quote you. Brother Rico, Brother Bat. I mean, every one of you, man, even all of y'all, the sisters, man, I quote you. There's something that God's going to put in my life today that I'm going to use this conversation. And let me say this about SCLC. Back during the struggle of the 60s, we as a people belonged to something. Either we joined the Urban League, NAACP, SCLC, SNCC, or...
Hey, Captain, your volume is just a little bit low, Captain. Your volume is a little bit low. Want to make sure everybody can hear exactly what you're saying.
So we're used to being a part of an organization of struggle. Back in the 60s, we belong to something. Many of this young generation, they don't belong to nothing. You couldn't come up in the 60s and you didn't belong to something. Well, if you didn't like the nation, you joined the family. You didn't like the family, you joined the urban league. You didn't like the NAACP. We belong to something, and we worked together. It was that unity that brought about change. We got to get back. I like what Reverend said. Yes, the nation plays a role in Georgia. We do the security. The nation plays a role in nothing. Peacekeepers. I got 34 chapters. I'm going to open up a chapter in every city. And the key is belong to something. And we're going to revive. And just I heard what Rico said that the NAACP is on a life preserve. I understand that. These young people don't know the commitment of these organizations and what they have done to further our cause. They don't know. They've got so many distractions. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. They're battling there, being shot down in the street. They got so many distractions. But I believe, Raheem, that the people, the brilliant people that's on this line, we do not really understand what we have done for one. I've seen all of our language change.
Yes.
I used to say, when I hear, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was saying, I've seen our language change. I used to, Badger have gotten better. When Badger come on, I thought that was intermission. It's time for me to go to the bathroom. Badger's on. But now, man, I listen to Badger, man. We quoting. I think we're doing a great job. I thank you for where I'm with you, man. I think we all saying the same thing. But let's get these chapters jump started again. I like that what you said. Rico, start one.
Yeah.
I love to be a part of FCLC.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
And Raheen, I also like to add with what Captain said. That's the thing about the movement. The movement don't never stop. It may slow down, but it never stops.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, the world is paying attention. Black, white, all over the world. You have to seize leadership. You can't sit around on your behind and sit there and throw rocks at your brothers and sisters, your mothers and fathers that died for this. Even as the president of an organization I was here in Atlanta, Georgia, you'd have people come down here, well, they ain't doing nothing. This ain't doing nothing, brother. It ain't about what they doing. It's about what you getting ready to do, what you want to do. Right now, New Order did press conference this morning in Akron. Guess who was standing with them? Nation of Islam was standing with them then, like they stand with New Order everywhere. I'm very familiar with the work of Brother Gant. Met Charles Steele, talked to all these guys and how they did things. But what they didn't do was sit around and wait for somebody else to do it. If you talking about, well, we ain't got no chapter here, then guess who about to be the new leader of that chapter? If you're really about what you're talking about. So then once you join these organizations, you can get you some education behind you and get you support, because I guarantee you they know SCLC and they don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
Working under Brother Al Sharpton. That's one of his main lessons. Use my name, use my platform to do what it is you need to do in your community. I'm not going to sit there and babysit you and whatever. Do what you need to do in your community. Don't think I always got to come down there and do. No, that's not what it's about. It's about you pulling more people into this fight and getting strategically aligned with the movement and continue to move forward.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Having a conversation today, y'all. We're having a conversation. We're talking about it. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
No, I'm basically just listening. How the pieces are being placed together,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you don't have something, somebody recommends that you do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
You give the information, you put it out there, make it accessible. That's how things work.
Yeah.
Let's start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mind being ignorant, but staying ignorant is a real problem for me.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So if I can get some information to make me better, then I can do something about my ignorance. I'm just saying.
Old folks say, when you know better, you do better. Ain't that what they say? When you know better, you do better. That's something they've been saying for as long as I can remember. And I remember a little bit. I don't remember a lot, but I remember a little bit. Lionel, what's on your
brothers and sisters, can I add something?
Absolutely.
Can I add? Okay, this is Pastor Gant again from the SCLC Stop the Violence and Incarceration campaign.
Yes, sir.
You know, when we started this campaign, you know, the question was asked to me, how are we going to reach the youth when, you know, basically our movement started in the church.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, people don't come to church anymore, so they asked me, well, Pastor Gant, how you going to reach this generation? I said, we're going to have to reach them where they congregate at every day.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, well, what are they congregating at? I say, they're congregating online.
Yeah.
They're congregating online. So we started the SCLC Stop the Violence campaign online. We started online.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we were able to reach the masses, because, you know, our battle, you know, I had to tell the pastors, I'm the chairman of Cobb County SCLC, and then I'm the outreach coordinator for the Baptist Ministers Alliance in Atlanta. Okay, so I had to explain to them that, look, brothers, our pulpits have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Our pulpits have changed. Now we're going to have to go online. We're going to have to go where they're congregating at every day, and that promoted our success in being able to reach these people, because that's what we have to reach them at, where they congregate at every day. And they're online. So there's a lot of people that are involved. They're hungry for knowledge. They want to be part of the change. We have to reach out to them where they're congregating at every day.
Absolutely. And that's a good point right there. You got to, Tucson says this all the time: meet a person where they are. Yep, meet a person where they are. Somebody said they need your contact information. Mr. Lionel, how can someone get your contact information?
Okay, we have several. We have the SCLC Stop the Violence and Incarceration pages. That's on Facebook. It's on Twitter. You just type in SCLC Stop the Violence, and bam, it'll pop up right there for you.
Now, how you say bam, it'll stop it right there. It'll pop up there for you. You say bam, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's right there. I mean, we're reaching the masses through our online campaigns.
Absolutely. Curtis, talk to me, brother. God is coming to you next.
I just came back in. I had a situation with one of my clients, but what exactly am I? The brother just said something very crucial. Because if you pay attention to what we're hearing and what has been coming out in the reports and the investigations by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, a lot of these folks who are being, should I say, coerced and or pushed towards a white nationalist movement has been being what's the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for the word they use to make it sound kind of soft, but to be exploited, the means that's being used to exploit the average American, the average white American, is the internet. Most people, if you pay attention to what the Federal Bureau of Investigations just put out in terms of white nationalism, most of these folks are being coerced by the internet. So the brother is right in saying that if you want to meet people to address a situation and or circumstance, you're going to have to meet them where they habitate at. And right now, online is the main habitation for the younger folks. If you're not, and you're wasting your time, to be honest with you. So I wish the brother all the success. I would like to get his information because, I'm going to be a little selfish here. I like to get his information because I heard him say that they do things where they have some events where they allow for actors and singers and so forth and so on to come in. So I would love to come and bring Dr. King back to his home.
Okay, well, hold on now. You got 50 seconds left, Curtis. Give him a little bit of example of what you're gonna bring to him.
Well, I'm in my office. Okay. All right. I'm in my office, so let me kind of get this thing together. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, 40 seconds. You only got 40 seconds. You got to make it quick. Go ahead. Come on, let's go now.
I'll use my normal. The first march I ever led, I was surrounded by all kinds of people. Old women who found it hard to walk across the room. They somehow found the strength to march for miles. Young men and women carrying their children and older children holding the hands of their younger brothers and sisters. And all of a sudden a barter was thrown from a crowd of whites. And we shouted, "Duck, Malcolm." But children have a need to know what's being done. Barter struck this young child. It cut the whole left side of her face. Now, none of us had time to be angry at them. We rushed to protect her, to comfort her, to worry about stopping the bleeding. But we marched on. White man bigger than the truck he must have been driving that night. Malcolm, with all his force, yelled, "Go home, you little nigger bastard." Man, he was screaming at this young boy. Couldn't have been no older than 7 or 8. I saw the look in that child's face that night. He was hurt, confused, and maybe most of all ashamed. He must have thought he did something terribly wrong to have all that heat directed towards him. So yes, Malcolm, I can get angry. With all the history that makes me a black man, I can get angry. But it's a different kind of anger. It's an anger that makes you know you can't stop loving. It's an anger that makes you know you can't stop believing. It's an anger that makes you want to prove hate wrong, brother. I hope 40 minutes I started else, but I said, let me go to Old Faithful.
Good deal. Mr. Lionel? Mr. Lionel, you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay. We just presented our Martin Luther King to you, sir. We just presented them to you. So when you need somebody to come and play that role or play that part or whatever, you know the fellow to call. Get in contact with me, and I'll certainly get all this contact information to you. I'm playing our agent right now. I'm a talent agent right now. I got a lot of hats on this grid. Go ahead. I got it. I'm playing talent. Go ahead, Rico. Stop laughing at me, brother. I'm playing talent agent, brother.
Raheem, the link to Pastor Gant's information is on your page.
All
Okay.
right.
Oh, that's it right there?
Yes, sir.
Got it. Okay. That's it, right?
Yes.
All right, cool beans. That's information right there for anybody that may need to get in contact with them. It's right there on the screen. And copy, paste it, do whatever you need to do, but reach out and get in contact with this young man because he's doing some great things, man. And we definitely want to support anybody that's doing good. We want to support them when they're doing good. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, man, you got all my support, man. First off, man, I'm gonna talk about the elephant in the room. We ain't just gonna gloss over what God has said about there not being a chapter in the Midwest in Kansas City, nor the fact that she ain't never heard of the SCLC. Just gonna look over that.
No, I actually did some research. There are some. They might have to pull it back up, but there are some in Kansas City, and Missouri area. There is some there.
Guess what? The reality is she had never heard of it. Think about that. So whoa. I ain't knocking her. I'm not knocking the LCLC. What I'm saying is that is a reality. That the horse has plenty of water to drink, but they don't even know it's there for them to go get it.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? And so even though he's seen this big turnout, listen, I've been there. I done talked to New Order. I deal with the NAACP. My father is in the NAACP. He's one of the chairmen. Well, I'm gonna say on the board, vice president or something like that in NAACP. Members don't even show up. Plenty of members, they don't show up to the meetings anymore. But you can find more people at car club conventions or car shows or pop-up shops or anything that got to do with business and making some money or having a good time. You can find these same people there. Some of them are even a part of the Divine Nine. They still don't participate in that type of stuff no more. See, I've been fighting, man. Listen, I've been fighting since I was getting put in the hallway of school for saying that about Columbus and standing up for what's right. Then I got to working and I started seeing, man, you know what? I know my history. I don't think I'm supposed to be going for this. I don't believe in unions, but I'm going to fight for myself. And then I ended up joining the union. Then I ended up being a representative, all because people saw how I fought for myself. They said, well, you know what? We want you to fight for us too. We ain't never had a union rep like that. I was 26 years old, fighting for 50 and 40, 50 and 60-year-old men that didn't have the balls or the courage or the drive to go and fight for what was right. So right now, I picked this up from different influences. One of the influences was a man named Reverend John Nettles, and he was the president of the SCLC. He was very much connected. I mean, he would get Martin Luther King's son to come down and speak. Henry Sterling, when he was over the SCLC, pretty much every national head of the SCLC used to make Anderson a regular stop because of the Freedom Riders event. I mean, we had a lot of momentum. Now the SCLC is non-existent. This same man used to have 4 and 5 buses, 6 buses of children going to Myrtle Beach or going to Birmingham to the 16th Street Baptist Church to watch What I think her name is Evelyn King, one of King's daughters, Bernice King, used to come speak. He would load up all of these children from around the county and surrounding counties. He had that outreach. He created events. Spring break, he had something for all the youth to do. He did that. Now these people that after he died, people got in his position, they didn't do that. They lost the momentum. Now you have people that know about Martin Luther King, but don't even know about the SCLC. That is sort of out of, I ain't gonna say it's out of order, but that's sort of strange. It means that, you know, the fight has still been going. Yeah, we still been fighting. But somewhere we are fighting against another thing that is distracting us from getting or distracting other people from coming to or even realizing that we are here, that a fight is needed. That this information is out here. So, you know, I'm talking right now, you know, the councilwoman the young woman that ran for councilman that you know that I talk to all the time. That's his granddaughter, Reverend Nettles, the man that was over the SCLC, the one that had all these programs, the one that had it here. That's his granddaughter. I'm sort of putting her on top of what he was doing because she never really got to meet him. She just got his spirit of him. But that's who I'm working with. So I appreciate Cassandra saying that. I appreciate the guy coming, Mr. Lionel coming on here, because I actually have been saying to myself that I prefer the SCLC over any of these organizations. You know, and so I appreciate them saying that they feel like I could do that. And believe me, it's in the work. I don't get on here and toot my horn about everything either. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I keep things to myself, but I am working with his daughter to get the SCLC back started again, because the organizations that do exist already have their path, and whatever flaws or infections they have them too.
Good. Let me tell y'all, I looked it up, the SCLC in Kansas. The president is Reverend Dr. Vernon Percy Howard Jr. And they got the whole board, they got the whole page here. If anybody wanted, I could definitely send it to them. But yeah, this is the one that's they say they're doing a lot of great things too. They got a little link here where you can actually join and become a member, a corporate sponsor. You could donate and become a member of the SCLC. All that's here. So, you know, that's certainly it is there. But like I say, I don't know why, you know, it's not known. I can't speak on what they're doing or how they're reaching out and different things of that sort, but I can say that they are there. Goddess, what's on your heart?
You talking about the one in Kansas, Missouri?
Yes.
Which is two different states, Missouri and Kansas.
I just looked up the one you said. So when you said Kansas City, I looked up Kansas City. That's, you know, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I didn't make a distinction on that. But yeah, I've heard it's him, but I've never heard them do anything big or huge.
Okay.
Especially with all the killings, we have two pastors that come out that actually started their own deal, and they're the ones to speak up for the community, for the ones that we, like when we did the Black Lives Matter, and we also had two pastors come in and help stand to get Cameron Lamb when he was killed wrongfully by the police in his house, and you know, some of the wrongful police killings there were, but the SCLC was not there. And it is what it is. Now that I do know, because you know, I was heavily involved in all that. We also had a couple of the attorneys big attorneys come up, but they were not there. So Lee Merritt came, and so
okay. But see, my thing is, you know, we certainly not going to get on here and bash any organization for what they're doing with it.
I'm not bashing any. I'm just saying that I didn't see them there. I'm not bad. I didn't say anything negative. I said I did not see their presence. Yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying, sis. I'm
just saying, I don't want you to take my words out of context.
Okay, but and sis, I don't want you to talk over me. So listen to what I'm saying. I'm gonna give you opportunity to say everything you want to say. Okay. But my thing is this right here. I'm saying that we're not gonna get on here and bash. And I'm not saying that we are bashing, but I don't want people to come across and thinking that we're bashing any organization. That's not what we do here. Go ahead.
By saying that, to me, seems like you're implying that.
No, sis, if it seems
like that's why I spoke over you.
No,
because that's not what's being implied. I'm just saying I did not see see their presence.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. My thing is, I was just saying that I just don't want it to come across as if we're doing that, because I don't want anybody to leave here saying that, the Morning Glow, they're bashing. No, we're not bashing nobody. You're not bashing anybody. And I'm just saying, I just don't want people to listen and hear something outside of what we're actually saying. But go ahead, sister.
No, I'm done. That's it. I agree with what's his name, that we all need to work together. And that's been one of the major problems within our community. Everybody want to take the big stand instead of work together as a group where we can come to one agenda.
Absolutely.
And that's what the captain has said, and that's what we need.
Absolutely. Great point, sis. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I agree with Goddess and with Cap. We could do so much more together than we can apart. And I think that is the big difference between a lot of the organizations that we are critical of. People are critical of organizations and people for what they're doing. But if you would come, just put you aside and work with people. I work with all kinds of organizations, everybody, from sexual assault, domestic violence, bullying groups, civil rights groups. It doesn't matter. If they're doing something that's for equality and justice, I'm in. And guess what? I don't have to lead. I get in at the back of whatever they're trying to do. I'm there. I'll try to help. And that's, and we've heard a lot of people talk down Black Lives Matter. I'm sorry that young group, I think they did amazing things. They actually changed the world. Those few young Black people changed the world view on Black people worldwide. So we can have our problems with them, or they gay, they this, they that. All I'm saying is they're doing the work. And if somebody is doing the work and standing for what is right and what is just and what is equal, I'm behind you 150%.
That's good. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Badger, you there?
I had to find the mute button.
Okay.
I'm not used to being on my phone.
Oh, I got you. What's on your heart, brother?
I know, like, when it comes to organizations and stuff, they can't be at every single gathering group, or like, and the fight might be different. There's some orgs that are fighting things that are in a different category. So it's figuring out, if you're wanting to fight for a certain thing, then get associated. And this is something I learned from Leonard. If you're fighting for a certain thing, get involved or start your own group, organization that is fighting for what you want to fight for. Not every group org, so many labels, are on the same page. There's some that primarily only focuses on mental health. There's some that primarily focuses on the police brutality. There's some that primarily focuses on at-home violence, domestic violence. So, like, it's, as an individual, there are orgs and groups out there that have that same drive for those issues that we deal with.
Like Earth Mission 451.
You just
right. Thanks.
Go ahead, Badger.
You just gotta find them. And as I'm pretty sure Leonard had said, as you've said, there ain't no organization I probably can't find. And a lot of people know how to get a hold of me. So if you want to figure out what orgs in your area or whatnot that's fighting what you want to fight, get a hold of me.
Good deal.
I'll help you find it.
Good deal. Good deal. We actually at 10:01 get ready to get on out of here. But before we do, I want to touch a few more people. Give me your quick version of what you're going to say before we leave out of here. Mr. Lionel, anything on your heart before we get out of here?
Well, I have to quote my grandmother. Something that she used to always say, you know, switch makers move. Switch makers move.
Yeah.
We as a nation people, you know, we have a tendency to come together when something tragic happens. We got to get beyond that. And I think our main focus has to be on us right now. We got to stop killing us. We got to stop killing each other. And that's our primary focus this year. We want to stop black on black. You know, we want to stop us from killing each other. We want to stop us from going to jail. They laughed at me when I said we're going to have to boycott the jail. They said, boycott the jail? How are we going to boycott the jail? I said, yes, we need to stop going to jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's what I would end out. You know, switch makers move. We're gonna have to come together as one nation of people, looking past our religion, looking past our particular interests. We all got to come together as one.
Exactly. Exactly. Toussaint.
Yeah, I'm on mute too. I don't even get mad at those that don't participate or even the weaks, because what good is the strong, but you can't lift nobody else up that's possibly weak. So it takes us all. Somebody needs to be the encourager. Somebody needs encouragement. So
exactly.
It is what it is. We don't put shade or discredit or whatever the case may be. And just because it sounds like that, that's not, maybe it's not what it is, because everything that's real is not what you hear.
Exactly.
Sometimes we just misread people.
Good deal. Good deal. Kurt, anything on your heart, brother? Somebody got a big dog.
Church has shown that if you believe in the purpose of mankind, you will always benefit from God. The time is come.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, we're going to get on out of here, man. It's been a great broadcast. Rico, what's going on at 3 o'clock today, sir?
Rico smiling. I ain't gonna let you let me up out of here like that, man.
I see you smiling.
Mr. Lionel said something good, man. He said something good, man. He said, boycott the jail.
Yes, sir.
And he said somebody asked him, how you boycott the jail? See, some people would naturally get that, but if they don't naturally get that,
they got it's issue.
That means they don't know how to boycott the jail. And you got to tell them. See, I seen a comment. Somebody said, why do you have to speak on anyone knowing anything? Because some people don't know. So if you tell them they need to boycott the jail, but they don't even know how to boycott the jail, you might just have to give them that little simple logic. That's the reason why we speak. And we talk about the things that people don't know. Because they don't know that you can fight with a vote. You don't have to use your hands. Martin Luther King did. So it don't mean just because you hear the word fight that you got to be violent. Sometimes you just got to be proactive. The vote is a fight, a way of fighting. And we've been fighting. Now it's just time for people to wake up and realize that we got to continue fighting, because it don't ever stop. Not the battle between good and evil and right and wrong. With that being said, if you missed today's broadcast and you would like to see or hear today's rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Good deal. And everybody, our sister, man, she's really not feeling well right now, Willa. So if y'all get an opportunity, man, say a prayer for her. You know, she reached out to me yesterday and said the reason why she wasn't on because she's really not feeling well right now. So make sure you all say a prayer for our sister, man. Make sure that she get back up and running. Who gonna get the prayer out for us this morning? Mr. Lionel. Mr. Lionel.
Yes, sir.
Didn't I hear you say you was a pastor?
Yes.
Okay, well,
Pastor at Christian Ministries.
okay, well, if that be the case, sir, if you don't mind, if we can have the honor and the thrill of having you to pray us out today, sir, will you pray us out?
Yes, sir.
All right, good deal. You can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Father God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this broadcast. We thank you for all of us that was on these lines. We ask, Heavenly Father, that your word go forth in power, in truth, and that it breaks every barrier. In the name of Yeshua, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. And thank God.
Wow. Wow. Look at Rico. Look at it. Well, I don't know whether I should come to you or not right now. What's on your heart, brother? Rico?
I was just thinking, man, how quick and short and good it was. You know, I like them long prayers, but man, that was real quick and short to the point, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said everything that he had to say, and like I said, he said that one thing earlier, man. What's that thing he said earlier? I think I wrote it down. Man, I hope I better find it. Let me see. God Almighty, what's that he said? He said something about let's go to let us. Oh man, I can't believe I can't find it, man. What that you said earlier, Mr. Lano? And I said that's a real pastor right there. Let me see. God, I can't find it. I wrote it down somewhere. Okay, it'll come to me when we get finished. It'll come when it get finished. It'll pop up, and I'll be like, Lord, how much? There it go, right there. But anyway, it's been a great broadcast, man. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:07. You're about to exit the Morning Glow, but before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Then we shine some of this light on you for the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. He said, "You might give me a disease, Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus." Look at he just popped it in. Look at hey Donald, what the world just happened, man? What just happened, man?
I don't want no monkeypox. I don't want no monkeypox. I don't want no viruses. You give me an elbow bump with your clothes on. We got, fully clothes. You know what I'm saying? Look, elbow bump.
Look at that's Ibrahim. I'm wondering where he came
from. That's Ibrahim, man.
He just popped up from nowhere, man. He just popped up. He just came from. I ain't even see him on the line, man. He just popped up out of nowhere.
Man, Ibrahim a trip, man. That dude funny, man. He's so serious, man.
Some people, Reverend Lionel Gant from SCLC, and Dr. Tate, and one of my cousins, right? Very opinionated. Boy, if they get on your show, man, you think. But I mean, they're sharp people, but wow.
Yeah, you go. Hey, invite them, man. Send them an invitation. Send them an invitation to come on. Everybody's welcome here, brother.
Man, if they anything like him, man, they got to be something serious, man. That would be great. That would be awesome, right there. I can't wait.
Look here, Ibrahim just popped up out of nowhere. No, go get. Listen, we're going to get out of here, man. Thank you all for joining us. Love you. Have a great day. We'll see.
Man, you started out 20 minutes late, man. I started on the phone about 5 minutes.
Man, look here. On some must have just happened to Ibrahim line. I don't know what happened to his line. Something happened to his line. I don't know what happened to it. Something happened to his line. He just stopped talking. I don't know what happened. Yeah.
For the rest of the story.
Exactly. Look here, something happened to his line. I don't know what it is, man. But by my clock, you're saying it's 10 or 10. I'm gonna say 10 or 10. It's saying 10. So see you tomorrow. Have a great day, and see you tomorrow. God stay the same. Rico, cut it out, brother.